Judgment Day.
Live from London, cheerio. Oh wait, we're in Linden. I thought that would have worked, but
yeah, that would have been a much longer commute. But glad you're with us, and we are going to go out to the phones here in just a moment at 888-957-9570. But how would you answer that? Is this judge or bust?
Yes, it's judge.
It is?
It is because we can get into the SI list because you sent it over this morning, and I was up at about 2:15 looking at it. Shout out midnight diaper changes.
Well, yeah. Why were you up at 2:15?
Yeah, my girl Mila needed a fresh diaper, so I was up and
so did you, right?
Well,
so what the hey?
Basically, when you wake up and you change the diaper, it's hard to go right back to sleep. Thank you, Joe. So I usually check the phone, check the thread, see where we are. You sent the SI link to the top 50 free agents and where they might land. And the three names that were connected to the Giants make me feel, yes, it's judge or bust.
Well, see, so to me, and no one's going to want to hear this word, but that's not a fair bar to set. I mean,
that's the bar.
Well, but again, you're that bar. That's fine. Yeah,
shout out the bar.
That's a fair bar to set. Gosh, it looks beautiful, by the way.
It's gorgeous.
And is that coffee syrup or are those vodkas right there that I'm looking at?
Those are like for Italian ices kind of syrup.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, flavor.
I'm in. Point being is this: it's a free agent. It's not a trade. It's somebody who has the power himself. Aaron Judge gets to sign where Aaron Judge wants to sign.
Right.
So I don't want to set myself up for that kind of disappointment, especially since your number one competitor or your top two competitors are the Yankees and the Dodgers. Like. They've got some things to pitch too. You know what I mean? Like it's not a bad life at either of those spots either. So
if he stays with the Yankees, I'm okay with it. If he goes to the Dodgers,
that's a problem.
Then then Farhan's got to go.
I'm not going to say that.
I'm not either. But you know my point.
I agree with you on this front. There's a very, very different missed out on Judge thing here. If he stays with the Yankees, there's kind of a shrug your shoulders. I'm not sure what you could do. If he leaves the Yankees and you don't get him, now that's a problem. That's different. That's a miss. That means you needed to do a better job with your pitch because he, by all accounts, wants to be here. It's home. He grew up rooting for this. And so, yeah, you cannot let the Dodgers beat you to this punch. They've beaten you to everything now over the last handful of years. So you can't let that happen, and I don't think they will. But my point is this. There are so many top-level free agents out there. You have to give any team the ability to go out there and put together whatever their plan is and see what you think at the end. I do think if they came home with Trey Turner and Brandon Nimmo, are you telling me, like, you're still going to say that this was a bogey because they didn't get Aaron Judge? I don't know. I would love to have him. Look, we're here. We're in Linden. I'm all in on the Giants getting Aaron Judge. But I do think there are other roster scenarios that they could put together that would and should satisfy the fan base.
If it's Brandon Nimmo and Trey Turner, that's a bogey. That's a disappointment.
Really?
Brandon Nimmo for what this
Trey Turner?
For what this Giants team needs is a real splash. Brandon Nimmo is not moving anybody to want to be a Giant season ticket holder. Trey Turner is going to prompt the most beloved Giant this side of Buster Posey to do what? Go play second base? Are you going to put Brandon Crawford at second? Because you're not moving Trey Turner to second base.
You absolutely could put him at second base. They did it last year or 2 years ago when they acquired him. He can also play center field, which is a position of need.
Yeah, it is.
Not if you get Brandon Nimmo, then he's your center fielder. But listen, I get what you're saying, and I think that Larry Baer
and I'm going to use the Mark Willard argument and say if you go outside, well, not here in Linden, but if you go outside our studio in the city and you say, "Hey, I'm here with Brandon Nimmo,"
right.
I mean, come on.
You're 100% right. However, you also have to put together a baseball team.
You do.
There's only one guy that fits that bill, which is essentially the preseason attendance bill, and that's Aaron Judge. And he might say no.
Yeah.
He might go to the Yankees. And I'm not going to say even if the Giants are the high bidder, and even if the Giants have the greatest Buster Posey pitch, he might say, I'm staying with the Yankees. I'm already here. And I'm not going to make the offseason a bogey just because of that. You're right that he's the only one that satisfies the turnkey face of the organization.
Yes, exactly.
We've got giveaways, we've got jerseys, we've got attendance. You're not wrong about that, but I can't call the offseason a failure based on one person.
Yeah.
They might be able to
I
build
get
a really
that.
good team with some other
They
people.
might. And you keep mentioning the Posey pitch, and I wonder if that is the Giants' best foot forward, or would you be better off going with Rich Aurelia? I guess Rich Aurelia was his childhood hero, or even Barry Bonds.
I'm sure they'll all be there.
I know,
Why would they not all be there?
But the Buster pitch, to me, is maybe the most underwhelming. I mean, Buster is not the most electrifying force in the
I
organization.
could not disagree with this take more, and here's why. This is no different to me than Bill Belichick. Like, I think there are people in sports who we, after hearing from them for years, don't know. And Buster's one of them, because every Giant talks about his leadership. Every single person in the organization goes, you know what? That guy actually gets after people in the clubhouse. There are people who know when they're outside, when the cameras are on, when I'm at a podium, I'm only going to give you so much. Because why would I? Why would I let you in? Bill Belichick is a wry, sarcastic, big sense of humor, like personality guy. But you're never going to see that at a podium. From everything I've ever been told.
So he's a phony, is what
Buster,
you're saying.
no, he's not. No, he doesn't want
He's an actor, is what he is.
He doesn't want to let us in.
Right.
And the other thing is there's a presence to Buster Posey whenever you're in the room with him, especially if you're someone who has his jersey on your wall. Like, Buster, a Buster pitch does not mean he's up there doing a stand-up show. It means that somebody who you really freaking respect and has some gravitas when he walks in the room gets to you when he speaks to you. And Buster is absolutely that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the ultimate pitch outside of coming home and childhood dream and all the rest of it is show me what the roster is. Show me what I'm working with.
No doubt.
And if it,
show me what you're
so
working
if
with.
Buster's, I don't know where Buster can really help on that front, and this is where it probably happens further down the road in free agency, where the Giants make other moves first and show Aaron Judge, this is our team. You're just going to be the added final piece to what we're already putting together.
Well, I think they got to do that anyway. Like, because it's super dangerous to be like, okay, Aaron, we signed all these guys. What do you think? That's all right. I'm going to stay with the Yankees. Well, now we got a bunch of guys that you got just for Judge. Like, you got to build your roster. It's always team first with executives. They have to be building a team. So they got to do that anyway, though. So they've got to go get the guys that not just Aaron wants. They got to go get the guys that they think are going to make their team better, and then pitch that to Aaron. And I think that they've probably identified who those people are, and that's like you said. Now you got to go get some wins.
Go close.
You got to go. Coffee's for closers.
Thank you.
And so are free agents.
Yeah, and that's so far. Farhan's been much more of a tea drinker in his time with the Giants than he has been a coffee drinker. And we talked about this before. This is the biggest offseason. I think Joe mentioned it yesterday in our changeover. This is the biggest offseason for the Giants in 10, 15 years maybe.
At least.
It's monster in terms of what they need to do, not only to the roster, but for the fan base as well. And so that's a situation where, you need to have more than just one guy come in. It's got to be more than just, Aaron Judge and Lamont Wade and, Tommy LaStella. You got to bring in more than just the one free agent.
Obviously. Absolutely. So 888-957-9570. What would your pitch be to Aaron Judge? We'll continue that. But even more important, is it Judge or bust? Is it Judge or bust? Now, Sports Illustrated said this. Top 50 free agents with signing predictions. So there's just a couple guys sitting around with a laptop. I get that. But how would you feel if this is how it ends up? Because you can scroll through. The number one free agent on the board is Aaron Judge.
I've heard of him.
Predict that he will go to the New York Yankees.
Wait, what?
The number 2 free agent on the board.
Pack my things. We're out of here.
Trey Turner. The prediction is he will go to
the Giants.
Chicago Cubs.
That's not good.
The number 3 free agent, Carlos Correa.
They need this guy.
He will go to the Baltimore Orioles.
That's an interesting one.
That's not very interesting. Why would he do that?
Because Baltimore's a team on the rise. Good young core. They were good last year, Mark.
Number 4, Dansby Swanson. With Turner gone, Dansby Swanson ends up with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
He's a perfect Dodger. Although, with a name like that, he should stay in Atlanta.
He should.
Like, what's the Georgia
Dansby?
quarterback? The Georgia quarterback's got a name like that, too.
Stetson or whatever his name is.
Stetson Bennett, thank you. Stetson Bennett and Dansby Swanson.
This guy's two different colognes in one name. He's
Totally.
unbelievable.
So far the Giants are 0 for 4.
Well, at number 5, I don't even know. Do they want all of these players? I don't
want
know.
one of them.
Well, they want Judge.
We're here in Linden, for God's sake.
Yes, they want that one. Number 5, Xander Bogaerts,
Finally a Giant.
Atlanta Braves.
What the absolute?
So the top
Truck?
predicted Giants free agent is Brandon Nimmo, the number 10 free agent at age 30, a viable option, and there aren't many at the starting center field spot, and the Giants definitely need that. So Sports Illustrated says the Giants land Brandon Nimmo. APS over 800 last year.
Tell
there,
me about
Dan
his
Henley.
WRC plus too, Mark. I
That's
saw
really
that
good.
in the article.
We're
It's
here
really
in
good.
Linden trying to find Judge, and they're predicting they're going to be
Finding
Yeah.
Nemo, yeah, I know. It was.
Good thing you turned on your mic for
It's
that.
a 3, but it was an easy
It's
one.
a 2 at best.
The number 14 free agent. The number 14
Fire
free
Kyle
agent
right now. I'm
is
trying. I need him.
Josh Bell, first base. San Francisco Giants leaving the San Diego
Okay.
Padres and staying within the division.
Would you please read the blurb, because this is such a Farhan blurb.
Bell is a switch hitting 25 home run threat with an elite batter's eye.
Thank you.
Who most teams would like to add to their lineup despite his reputation as a streaky hitter, as evidenced by his severe splits before and after he was traded to San Diego at the deadline. He is a slightly below average fielder, fits in well, and will probably become more of a DH at some point over the next few years. But for now, he's in the class of first baseman right below the all-star level.
The old elite batter's eye, Kyle, is what struck me about that one.
I love Josh Bell.
Yeah?
That would be such a good sign.
Okay, see, Kyle's
Josh Bell's
activated. Look
great.
at him. His eyes, his eyebrows are up. Everything's all set.
He's
to
one of
go.
my favorite players. in the
Josh
league.
Bell, ladies and
He
gentlemen.
just
Show the audience
he's
today, you're
big
out.
and he just rakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, get him.
Except for he didn't with the Padres.
And
after
he
the trade.
can't field,
The
and he's
vibes
headed
were
for being a
bad because of
DH.
Tatis.
The vibes were bad with the Padres.
He's a big vibes guy.
You were there, and you literally texted us elite vibes. That is what you said when
I'm
you
a
went
fan.
to
I was
Petco
not
Park.
trying to hit a ball over the right.
Okay, got it. All right.
So as you're finding the third free agent on the list,
I am.
you're already into the 40s.
Yes. Free agent number 42, Michael Brantley.
How old is he?
He is 36 years old,
Oh,
former
God.
team for the Astros. And does this sound like a Giant signing or not? A shoulder injury kept Brantley off of the field for the bulk of last season. Though his speed and power have seen precipitous declines, the left fielder can still swing it, posting a robust 288, 374, 16 slash line and 277 plate appearances last year, and more walks than strikeouts. Oh, Farhan loves more walks than strikeouts. He hasn't posted a WRC plus below 120 since 2017. And though he's probably better suited as a DH than a left fielder, there's still enough left in the tank for someone to offer him regular playing time. There is your free agent class, according to Sports Illustrated for the San Francisco Giants. It will be Brandon Nimmo, Josh Bell, and Michael Brantley.
Unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable. There's no sizzle. There's no wow factor. And, Brandon Nimmo, he's a forever Giant. That does nothing for the overall problem with this organization, which is your team is dull. And, Nimmo, good player. Got some upside.
Yeah, he is. He's a good player.
Bell, deeply flawed, and already you can see that he probably can't be a first baseman for very long.
I don't know about deeply
Brantley,
flawed.
36 and injured. So there's your free agency class.
No, I listen. I would
Wow.
not. That would not excite me.
Is that a bogey for you?
Yeah. It's not a double bogey.
Right.
It's a bogey. Brandon Nimmo is somebody I would like, and that's the baseball side of me. I understand, and again, that's the difficulty that's been set up for the Giants, is that as we sit here live in Linden at the Lions Club, and all excited about Aaron Judge, the difficulty there is he's the only one. Even Trey Turner, would you agree with me on this? Trey Turner and his beautiful game and his wonderful social media slides.
Oh, yeah.
Even Trey is not like, okay, Get the giveaways together. Like everybody, face of the organization, Trey Turner, he's not that kind of player. He does not that kind of recognizability. And that's why I think the Giants are going to go so hard after Aaron Judge, because on Farhan's side of the building, he checks the baseball box. On Larry Bear's side of the building, he checks the business box.
Exactly.
And there's only one of those guys.
Yeah, for the most part. And Steiny just texted me that he is hearing that Carlos Correa re-signed. So we'll have to Google that to confirm whether or not
Google it.
Whether or not he's off the market. It was a Steiny breaking news.
Well, you got to be careful on. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter where everybody's got a blue check mark.
I know,
now.
right? Twitter is basically dead now in terms of.
Yeah, well, you have to, when you see a report, you now have to click the person, and even it may say Ian Rappaport, blue check. Now you got to click on it, and he's got 112 followers. Oh wait, that's not actually him. So
I famously got beaten on a rap sheet. This goes back a full program director ago, about 6 years ago. The PD at the time rushes up to me, and there's a bit of breaking news, and he's like, "This just came out. Are you going to break it? Are you going to break it? Are you going to go with it? Are you going to break it?" And I'm like, "Okay, boss, sure." And turns out it was like from Rap Bleat. It was like Ian Rappaport or something. I got burned. All of a sudden, the texts come flying in, pouring in. Dibley, no, that was a fake tweet.
Okay.
I got put up to it by the P.
Ian Rappaport's a 5, by the way.
Text
Thank
90
you.
right now that his Carlos Correa report is false. It comes from Benjamin Dover. Hello, Steiny. Blue check mark.
I love it.
Benjamin Dover, who also last month
Where is
reported that Rams receiver Odell Beckham is headed to the Minnesota Vikings. So that report is there.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are releasing,
Anthony Edwards. Quote, he's just too fat, man. All of these are coming from the same Twitter feed. And he also broke that Carlos Correa is signing a 9-year extension to stay long-term with the Twins. Asked Carlos about signing the extension. He said, quote, I love the city, I love the fans, and I love all my teammates. I can't wait to finish the rest of my career in Minnesota. That is false.
His handle at Bendover Insider.
It's just gross. Twitter.
I mean,
Thanks.
by a guy named Ben Dover.
I mean, he got duped by a guy named Elon Musk, but also he got duped by somebody named Ben Dover. That is really sad, Steiny. No.
I told him, I said, I got no internet in Linden. I got nothing out here, kid.
Absolutely
Big
ridiculous.
homie's gonna be fine, bro.
Yeah. Let's go to Doug in Berkeley, right here live on Willard and Dibs, live from Linden for Judgment Day. Hello, Doug. What are you doing?
Hey, I'm headed into work. I'm listening to you guys. It's wild. I hesitate to call in almost because, the last couple of times I call in, I get Kaepernicked by Mark. In other words, I start to say something and you make it what you want to talk about. But today,
wow. Well, first of all, I have no idea what that means to be Kaepernicked. I know. I reject your explanation, and I also want to let you know I'm going to hold the power, as Dibs will, to talk on our own radio show. But go ahead, Doug. Go ahead. Try to make it yours, brother.
You're doing it again right now.
Yeah, Doug, it's our radio show. But go ahead, bud. How about a point? How about a point instead of a rip job? Go ahead.
I'm shocked because I agree with you this morning about the value of Buster Posey. He's quiet, but you got to have him in the room if you want to get Aaron Judge, because he's the singular reason why the Giants had a bad season this year. He manages the pitchers. He's a solid bat in the middle of the lineup. He's reliable. So I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. You got to have him in the room if you want to go after Aaron Judge. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, all right. You and Doug.
I wanted to wait until I heard a very defined period there. Well, good, Doug. Are we good?
Hey, Doug, you good?
Hey, gone. Yeah. Hey, Baker, you good?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
You and Doug parted as friends, though. That was nice.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
That felt good.
It felt okay. But anyway, he's right. He's right. And I even saying this, I don't believe this. when he says Buster Posey's quiet. He's not. He's quiet to us.
And he's not. Him not being there was not the reason why they were 26 wins worse. He was a reason, but you could look at another 8 to 10 reasons, including
of course,
Brandon Crawford not having a career year and forgetting how to catch the ball. That would be a reason as well.
Worst defensive baseball team I've seen in a long time. There are all kinds of reasons for sure, but Doug has this point, and this is totally accurate. If you talk to the players, like, just look at the last 3 years of Giants baseball, okay? They're 28 and 30 or whatever that was during the pandemic, but people were expecting nothing, so they were like, oh, yeah, nice job. But remember, Buster Posey wasn't there. And then he comes back, and I cannot tell you, right? Like, I cannot tell you because I was obviously working very closely around the team at that time, and there were so many players that said, there's no way for us to accurately show you or describe how it changes us that he's here. It just does. The second he walked into the room, it changed everything. And you remember Gabe Kapler talked about spring training. What's our discussion? We decided we think we can win this thing. Forget what everyone else thinks and whatnot. And they go out and win 107 games. And then he's gone. And the very following year, you only win 81. And we did spend a healthy amount of time going, where's the leadership? It felt like a wayward vacation. And it was. So I get your point, and you're right. We're not going to – Buster Posey was not 37 wins above replacement or whatever happened last year. But it was big. It was big. It is a different team when he's not there. And so now to have him on the ownership group and hopefully have him usher in a new presence, a new leader for that clubhouse – it's what they need.
Yeah,
it's absolutely what they need.
It's what they need if it's this leader, Aaron Judge. And I wonder how much Buster Posey will even be around because he moved the family to Georgia, and I know he's got a piece of the team from an ownership standpoint, but he's not going to be involved in the day-to-day. I wouldn't imagine he would be around very much at all.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm pretty shocked at what I've heard Buster say in terms of how close to the game he does want to be. When he left, I thought he was going full-on Bill Buckner. I'm like, he's going to go to Georgia, and we're never going to hear from this guy again. And then a few months later, he wants to be around the ballpark. He wants to be a part of the ownership group. He wants to be involved in free agent pitches. So I was surprised by that already, and I think it's definitely a positive for the team.